Hey, Frank. How you doing, brother?
How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles back with another video. So I just watched Punisher Last Kill the day it premiered, which was yesterday, and I do have my thoughts. So let's get into the Rowdy review. So the first thing I want to say is Jon Bernthal as the Punisher is always well acted. He's well portrayed. Jon Bernthal wrote this, and I feel like that was a detriment. I also feel like Disney gave them a very small budget and a very short time limit, because this thing is very short. It feels like as soon as it's like getting going, it ends. And it doesn't feel like that way. It is that way. And I do think a lot of the performances are very over the top, very overacted, very like, and I understand like, you know, it's a comic book movie, but the tone of this feels more like the Thomas Jane Punisher movie than any of the MCU stuff that we've gotten. And apparently this takes place between Daredevil Born Again Season 2 and Spider-Man Brand New Day. And we've already seen Frank go through this stuff 10 years ago in Daredevil last year. We've seen it all before. So it feels reductive to have Frank. I know he's gonna never get away from that PTSD. I know he's never gonna get away from the trauma of what happened to his family. But to have him just suffering so wholly and fully and being like, yeah, I'm gonna end it. I can't deal with this anymore. We've seen that before. So that is literally the first half of this entire special is Frank flashbacks, PTSD, disassociating, alcohol and substance abuse, just trashing his body and not seeing an ends to justify the means anymore. And it's like, dude, you literally went through this in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Matt talked to you and you came out and said, hey, yeah, I know what I need to do. I'm the Punisher. So this is about the third time that we've seen him go through that, because it happened in Daredevil Season 2, or Punisher Season 2. It happened in Born Again Season 1, and it's happening again now. So that's the third time we've seen this from Frank Castle. And yeah, the violence was great, right? The violence was cool. But at that same time, it was way less impactful than anything in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, just because it was so over the top, like blood squibs and gunshots and just, you know, violence for the sake of violence, which is the Punisher. But at the same time, we've gotten more nuance to Frank than that over the years. So I just think they could have done a better job. And I know he was one of the writers. There was another writer as well. He didn't direct it. I feel like this was his attempt to get Disney to do a season 3 of Punisher or a movie. And I would like to see that. I think he needs more time. What I don't think we need to see is PTSD Frank over and over and over again, just like we saw Daredevil over and over again struggling with wearing the cowl and his faith in what he does and whether he's breaking the law to justify the means or just another vigilante criminal. You know, we've had these concepts multiple times in multiple versions of the same character that have stories connected. Like the Netflix stuff is canon, the Disney Plus stuff is canon. So like all of this stuff we've seen before. And like I said, it's 44 minutes. So 20 minutes of Frank being emo and just, you know, I can't do this anymore. Wait, you know, Jon Bernthal being Jon Bernthal, and then 20 minutes of absolute chaos. And the cinematography, the action scenes are fantastic. I'm not taking away from that. But it feels like we should have gotten maybe 10 minutes of setup and 35 minutes of this happening so that we could get some resolution. We could have seen more from the Nucci family rather than just flashbacks and little, we could have seen more personality to them, more fleshed out. And there's at the beginning of the show, there's a scene that it's just like, you knew what was going to happen. And it's like, why do this? We don't need to see this to know that someone's a bad person. Like, this is just for the sake of, oh no, shock value. We didn't need to see that happen to that animal, right? So I appreciate that Disney is doing R-rated stuff, but I don't think that this was done very well. That's, you know, that's my opinion on it. I think that it could have been done better. It should have been longer. They should have had someone go back and fix the right. And Frank barely has any dialogue. It's mostly grunts and mumbling. Literally, that's most of his dialogue. He does not speak for the most part. And we've gotten more from Frank in 2 episodes of Daredevil, where he had less screen time. So that's just how I feel. That's my opinion. If y'all agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know in the comments, but be civil. It's a discussion. This is just my opinion. Like the video if you like this review. Comment, become a channel member if you want to support the channel further. Check out the subreddit r/figurefanatics. Check out my Instagram, Rowdy Riles. Do all that stuff. Keep your head up, stay brave, be kind to local LGBTQ+ community. If you're protesting, be extra super duper safe. I love y'all. I will see you next time, and bye-bye. Let me tell you something, Red.
Just wait 1 minute. I'm watching this new Rowdy Riles video and it's really awesome. I don't want to miss it.
It's like this chick that reviews action figures and it's really freaking cool.
Yes, I think they saw some videos. There's some really good contents out there, you know?
She reviews the ponies and stuff because you knows I love ponies.
She doesn't review ponies. It's freaking cool stuff, Toki.